Within prime selling space, there's a buy zone. I'm going to frame this for you in this video so that you can see how golden it is. Most retailers don't have a product problem. They have a placement problem. My mantra is don't discount, display. With the right merchandising, products look new again, attracting customers without the need for discounts. If you sell online, congratulations, you're already selling in the buy zone. Most retailers don't realize the ease of shopping that this zone offers. And here is a prime example of the buy zone that exists when we do online shopping, because eye level is buy level. So browsing your buy zone, okay, if you take a picture of your buy zone or a little video and you put that online, and if you take the picture in the buy zone in your store, then you will have people browsing, seeing it, and coming into your store to actually see the product, try it, test it, and then purchase it from you. So that is how the buy zone works when you link it with online. But we're just going to talk more about what it does right in your store, because my name's Linda McKendry. I'm a merchandising display coordinator and collaborator with my clients in helping them do all things that are going to increase sales, increase traffic, and it's all by goods to be sold must first be seen. So let's take a look at this buy zone and see why it's so important and how you can use it in your store. Discover how to make your in-store displays bring shoppers in through digital media. I actually have a ready-to-shoot checklist that is available for retailers. It is free. How to prep your feature displays for photo and video. Turn real-life retail displays into camera-ready content in minutes. I mean, if you go to all the work to make a really cool display in this zone that we're going to talk about, you may as well take a picture of it and put it on your social media and let it do advertising for you. The good thing is that when they come in the store after they've checked it out, then they know where to go to see it because it's going to be there and you will have displayed it for them. 10 ways shoppers experience your product in store and online. That's an interesting thing to look at. And 5 top display photography mistakes and what to do instead. So avoid wasted effort and disappointing results. And you can check that out on todaysdisplays.com under retail resources. 80% of your product should be shown in or rotated into prime selling space, which is comfortable reach and the knees. Now I have a short lady and a tall man, so you can see that there's a bit of a difference between their reach, but not too much, and a bit of difference between their knees. So what if I showed you an even more valuable space, which is from the eyes to the waist, and that is what we call buy zone. Prime selling space, if you look at this chart, is comfortable reach to knees, as we've just said, and buy zone is from eyes to waist, and you can see what it is here. Now, if you're looking at this chart, you see that 30 degrees. That 30 degrees is basically the what you see up and what you see down without tilting your head. So this is ergonomics, a study of human dimension and interior space and how things, so they have to establish some of the basics, and this chart shows you some of those basics. What capitalizes or who capitalizes in this zone? Well, we all know here, casinos, they capitalize. Gaming, they always capitalize in this zone. Vegetables and fruits, anything that's fresh and has a short shelf life is going to be in that space. How about tills and service counters and places you go? Don't they make it easy for you to shop because everything is in that zone between your waist and your eye level? Jewelry stores, they're masters of this. If you look at how their stores are designed, you'll see that there's nothing hardly below the waist except maybe looking down into a showcase or a bit of the showcase being seen from a distance as you approach it. And of course, aesthetics, cosmetics, all of those products are usually sold and shown and demonstrated in this zone. And of course, ATM machines, don't they make it easy for you to deposit your money there and take your money out? So this zone is very important, and I want you to understand and realize how that lines up with the average person's body. Now, my husband and I went shopping for new sheets, and we went down into the bedding store, and immediately when we walked in, We could see where the sheets were because of the way they're displayed. We actually went expecting to see kind of shelves with sheets lined up or bins, but that isn't what we saw. We saw very, very beautiful, sophisticated, easy to shop. Now, this zone is the highest conversion zone, and I'll show you why it works. Firstly, we have natural sight lines. Second, we have less physical effort because of where the body is at. I mean, you just naturally are doing things with your hands in front of your face and all day long. And then, of course, there's the decision-making factor is quicker as well because everything is right there in front of you. So this represents my husband and I going to shop for sheets, which we just did before I posted this video. You can see when we walked in, we could see where the sheets were, and we could see the sizes, and we could see the sample sitting here. We could test the quality of it. And immediately we went right to the one that we knew we had been looking for because we had already shopped online, and this is where we decided we were coming to get our sheets. Here's an example of that same space, only from a different angle. So when we walked in the store and we looked around, we looked over here and we saw, oh, here they have their sheets and duvet covers and things like that. This is where we need to go. So you can see where he is now. This zone up here is above the buy zone. This is below the buy zone, so from the waist down to the floor. But you can still see how the most important aspects and information is right in the sight line, easy to handle, less physical effort, and we did make the decision very quickly. Another example is when he turned from there to look at pillows, right away his hand, look how relaxed his hands are, because that counter height has been made exactly for him. It's a little above waist, but you can see how comfortable he is. He's looking at the sign. The product is here that he can test and feel, and the sign is right above it. I mean, this is working. I mean, well, I don't think we were there 20 minutes, and we decided we want these sheets in this color, and then we want these pillows. And the rest of the time, it was just a matter of ordering them because they didn't have the king size that we needed. This is a classic example of making that buy zone work for us. Exterior, think of your store on the outside, okay? So in the A zone, people can going by or can look at a distance and see into your store. Okay, if there's no backdrop there, they're going to look all the way in the store. Nothing's stopping them. Or if there's a sign hanging there that's giving some information up high, that's where they'll see it. Next, we have I'll call the pedestrian buy zone in the B area. This is where someone walking by is kind of right in their eye level, between waist and eye level. In this, we are slowing the customers down. They'll walk slower to see more, and they may even stop to see, which is always a good sign when they stop to see what's in your window because it's right where they can see it. Or C is actually a zone where I pay attention to it because if you have cars parking at the curb in front of your store and they're sitting there, they will be able to look into your window and see what's there at that level. So then I consider that a buy zone for them. And of course, it's below eye level you see when you're walking by. How about inside? Well, inside you're looking at your fixtures. And typically above your fixtures or above this best-selling space is going to be signs, displays, overstock, because it's seen from a distance. B area suggests the best-selling space, which again is from comfortable reach to your knees, but we're talking about the buy zone. And the buy zone is actually, like we said, from your eyes to your waist. So that's where area B is. Easy sight and reach, and you can sample and compare items at this stage. And C, of course, being below eye level and also knees or below. And it's for distance viewing, and you have to bend to reach it. So that's okay for some people. And or we often recommend that you put storage under there. Which puts more products in the buy zone? Now I've identified the buy zone here, and you can see that with our shopper at approximately an average height of a shopper. And then you can see here that we have the products, and we're displaying them differently because we want to show more product in less space, and we want to show more product in buy zone. So when we look at what we call feature displays, we have taken some of product A and product B and product C, and we've just made a little display and put them together. We've got them right at eye level. As a shopper walks by, they can see them. Or in the case of shelves, this is what we can do. And in the case of risers, we can then put them on a table or a stand or some other place in our store. Now, if we are putting product A and product B and product C like this, then it's really important, because at this point, from waist to eye level, which is where our buy zone is, we actually only have one product compared to if we do product A, product B, product C, and we carry that all the way down to the bottom shelf. So you can see how this is working to put more product in prime selling space and in comfortable reach. So what if I can't display this way? So customers often say, there's no way I can do what you're suggesting, and I can't do it with everything that's in my store. So what we do then is we rotate products. So we now want to take what's in the top shelf to the middle shelf, and the middle shelf to the bottom. And now we're going to take what was in the bottom shelf and put it up onto the top shelf or in the buy zone. And when we do this, we're actually determining whether the items that are in the bottom are not selling because of placement, or are they not selling because they're just not the right product for your market. When you bring those products up that are hard to reach and you put them into the buy zone and you put them into prime selling space and you wait for a little while to see if they move or not, that is going to tell you very clearly whether it's the product or the placement that is making the difference. And then for cross merchandising in feature displays in buy zones. So when you can't do what we're suggesting here, then take the products, take a few products and pull them together and put them in buy zone and put them in prime selling space so that they are more visible and people are appreciating them more and seeing the story that you're telling with them, and then they can go to the department and find them there. Quick story. When we were in Toronto, I was hired to come down and evaluate a store downtown Toronto, actually on Yonge Street, called Movenpick. And I remember going through the store, and we went by a 4-shelf unit, a short one. It had coffee on it. And I looked down at the tins on the bottom shelf were a dark blue and they were very dusty. And I said, well, those need to be dusting because dust devalues. So my recommendation was dust them. And he said, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to probably get rid of that coffee anyhow. And I said, how come? He says, well, they're not selling. And I stepped back and I said, okay, I want you to do me a favor. I said, instead of having product A, B, C, D, this coffee 1, flavor 2, flavor 3, flavor 4 on each shelf, I want you to put coffee 1, coffee 2, 3, 4 across the way I've been talking about right here. Now, I called him a week later and I asked him how things were going. He said, yeah, we're selling way more coffee. In fact, we have to buy more, get more in, because he said that people don't know which flavor to choose, so they're picking up 2 or 3 of them. So this is why I know it works, because it's been tested that when you are putting things horizontally on a shelf, in some ways you're determining which is value and has value and which doesn't. So if it's way above comfortable reach and people can't reach it, you're giving them a story about the value there. And if it's way down low, they're getting a story about the value there, when none of that is necessarily true. And when you put them side by side and make them in what I call vertical merchandising, you're putting more of each one on each shelf, and that way you will sell more. And many people too, they don't know which one to buy, so they buy more than one. In some cases, they buy all the flavors. So I just wanted to share that little story with you. Now, people complain to me, I can't make all these changes. It takes me too much time. Okay, here's what we do. This is one of the Visual VisiQuad rules. You always put everything in home base. There's a department and there's a category, and they go in home base. So when your customer comes running in, they've shopped there before, they know where to go and look, that's where they go. In the meantime, you want to bring these products together, 1 or 2 of them, and you're going to create a feature display with them. And that means you're going to put the item in a theme or in a promotion, or however you want to cross merchandise, even bringing things from different departments together because they tell a story, or they target to a specific market, or they're on sale, or whatever it is you're doing to promote them. So items from home base come and you put them in the buy zone, or at least in the prime selling space. If you can't get them exactly in a buy zone, at least put them in a prime selling space. So here we see that this fixture here represents home base, where all these items are. This is a gardening center. And then this represents the feature display. So we're pulling some things out from here and putting them down on the table down there where they can be seen, touched, handled. And of course it creates a really cool little staging so that people just love to see stuff like that. And can I tell you a secret? They'll often buy one of everything. If you stage it really well, they often look at it and they just love the way it's organized. They love the way it's put together. They love the statement it's making. And a lot of times you sell them all. So keep that in mind. Here's another example of where we have home base and then we have on display. So the key thing about this is that in your shelf unit, in your home base, you can stack to your heart's content. You can just put tons of stuff in there because that's what you need. You need to maximize every square foot in your store with product. But it's easier for the shopper to come and look and see something that is on display. It's easier for them to glance at these dishes, put one up and look at it, look at the back if they're interested in the labeling and the stamping on the back, than for them to do the same thing here. Plus, it's already on a table, on a counter, on a stand. It's already in a place where they feel comfortable handling it, and maybe some woman is even going to put her purse down there while she uses both hands to take a look at what you've put on display. So keep that in mind too. Now, here's a little bit of a different scenario. Now, here's a store that's super, super full, and just these are AI generated because it's the best way for me to get exactly the illustration I want to show you. So you can see here that we do have departments, and we have, but basically you're seeing a whole category here, whole category here, whole category here, and here. So the buy zone or prime selling space in this case is just moving them out into this zone on lower fixtures in featured categories and rotate waist to eye level. In other words, you're going to rotate from under here up to here and do that on a regular basis, or you can rotate from the shelves over to there as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a lot of people coming in at one time, let's say you're downtown and all your shoppers come in on their lunch hour, and they all have lunch from 12 to 1. You could get a whole bunch of people in at one time. And so you need to not just have one or two little displays. You need to have your product out where one person right after the other is going to come by and pick them up. Similar to a grocery store idea. So design self-serve in the buy zone as well. If you have customers coming in and they're serving themselves, you want to design it in the buy zone. And here are two examples of that, which is why we know that fruits and vegetables and fresh flowers often as well are displayed this way. So common mistakes made. Bestsellers are often too high. Okay, this is a client of mine in a ski resort, but they do skiing in the summer and skating, and then in the summertime they have walking, hiking, that kind of thing. So this is what the store was like before they had me come in and make the changes that they needed to be, mainly bring products into the right placement. Now, there's two things I'm going to point out. One is that look at where the shoes are. Now, that is above comfortable reach. You are going to have to ask him to come and help you reach those if you're interested in them, or you just point to it and then he shows you the box where somewhere down in here or in here. So he has to know where all of these are that relate to all of this, or his staff does. Now, the second thing I want to point out is this is where he had his customers sit to try them on. So there's a little bit of rug here, but let me tell you, this was actually his main aisle. The front of the store, you walked through the front of the store to get into the rest of the store, you walked right by there. So you stop and think of where the product is placed. You can see it, but not clearly. You can't touch it, feel it, handle it, and you have to ask for help. So what did I do to change it? Well, this is what I did. We moved it across that aisle so that now nobody's walking. In fact, here's his beginning of his till. People are going to walk by it, and you can see now, can they touch, see, feel, handle the shoes? Yes, they can. They can sit comfortably out of the way. He says I have a few on the other side here with the boxes that he's got on sale. And then bless his heart, we've got socks here. Now socks and shoes go together. Do you think he's going to increase his sales by having this set up rather than the one you saw before? The answer is yes. Or high margin items that are too low. So here's an example. Now, this picture that I have over here, that is obviously something like a market in Morocco or somewhere like that. It's international, and international merchandising is done a lot different because people squat more and are okay with getting down low on the ground, which most of us Westerners are not. However, if they want to appeal to Westerners, they have to do things more like this at the back here in one of the other little stands. And this is an example here too, in a design furniture. It's actually a design studio. And you can see that sometimes the low margin items are too low. The high margin items are too low. And here's another example too, where after a while, and if you're interested, my next video, which is called Stop This, is really talking about stop this. Stop doing things like this. They might look kind of cutesy and like an antique shop or things that have been collected and that kind of thing, but they don't make easy shopping. So if you're catering to the women that like to come out on the weekend and just saunter around, they're just browsing, they just think they might see something that they like and pick it up, this look works because frankly it becomes more like a museum. They see a lot of interesting things, have a wonderful day, but do they buy anything? We need to make things easy for people to buy. And when you have to, stop and examine every single piece because of the way it's displayed, you are usually hindering sales, not helping them. So today's displays is my company. The time for change has come. Today's displays are tomorrow's dollars, and the right ones start working today. So I want to introduce you to my book called The Organized Retailer. I transformed Velda's store, and I can help you, and I'm interested in helping you after all the years that I've been working with retailers and seeing what we can do. And so many times we do such a little bit. Because once you know what to do, you just do it, and it's instant. Like the change is instant, and in come the customers, especially if they've been shopping in your store all along. They walk in, and you hardly have to do any little thing, and they notice it right away, and they'll comment. In fact, sometimes the biggest comment they get is, when did you get these in? And meanwhile, it's almost embarrassing because you've usually had them there for years, and now they're seeing them in a different light because you're staging them. And I train my clients, if someone says that, to say, I just put it there. Don't say, are you kidding me? I've had it in the store for years and you've walked by it 10 times. But it's always fun to make the changes that make a difference. So when you look at what Velda says, and these are her words, she said she had more productive staff because every item had a place, reducing wasted steps and maximizing efficiency, organized supplies, engaging displays, streamline customer service. So don't discount, display. Visual Visiquad methods are what I help people with. I collaborate with clients for shops, showrooms, and pop-ups. We give you operational merchandising support, on-site hands-on display direction, merchandising decision-making, sales-focused display execution always, and feature area optimization, as I've kind of shown you a little bit in this video. So please visit todaysdisplays.com, and I will see you in the next video in this series on prime selling space. Bye.